Hi friends, welcome back to the channel Heal Lift Rise. My name is Carla. Thank you all so much for being here and joining me. Truly appreciate every single one of you, all of your love, support, and kindness to the channel. I wanted to share some messages today about acceptance, about letting go, and how we can move through life with more ease, more compassion, more empathy if we get out of our minds and get into our hearts. Allow ourselves to sync with this vibration of love in our hearts and allow ourselves to open up more to life and to the present moment and what is occurring and unfolding in front of us. When we stay stuck in our mind, it is often through the thousands upon thousands of thoughts that are entering through our mind that we attach ourselves to. And we create these stories and feed into these stories. And we hold ourselves hostage in a sense. And sometimes we can become prisoners in our mind because we attach ourselves to these thoughts and these narratives. And when we're constantly feeding that, we are not staying in the present moment. We actually become unaware of ourselves and of our present moment. So the key here is to always detach from the thoughts that are constantly bombarding you, that you do not have 100% control over. And it's always making a conscious choice to detach from the thoughts and to replace what is occurring in your thoughts and your mind, to replace it with what you do want to focus on and where you want your energy to go. We often stay stuck in stories of the past and of the future. And when we do that, we're actually hindering ourselves from the golden gem of the present moment. And we have to understand that the past is gone. The past does not exist anymore. We cannot change it. Therefore, we have to let it go. And we have to understand that every time we keep going back to the past and the old stories we're holding on to, and the dramas or whatever of the past, we are giving our power away to the past, and we're not allowing ourselves to be fully here and fully present. And the power of the present moment is so much more unfolds for you and happens for you in the present moment. There's this serenity and more peace because you are fully here. There is more awareness because of your allowance to be here and fully present. I have found that allowing myself to be wherever I am has actually given me more freedom and more peace. And this is something you have to consciously choose, and it's a habit. It's a choice you have to make that becomes habit, becomes routine, where eventually it's second nature, right? It just is something you just continuously do. And it's almost like a skill that you build, but you have to consciously choose it. I share this with you, and because I too have found myself sometimes where I slip back into my mind and life becomes overthinking, and you end up realizing that you're thinking too much and you're too much in your head and not enough in your heart and not enough here in the now. And it's important to realize that, becoming more aware when this happens and consciously choosing to get out of that cycle and get out of your thoughts, because you're not your thoughts. And there's no need to identify yourself with your thoughts. And, you're not the mind, you're not the body, you are awareness. And, when you come from this place and understanding that you are awareness and having this experience of life as awareness, you get to choose. You get to choose how you live your life and where you're given that energy to and how you're going to create. It becomes fun. It becomes light. There's not this heaviness and this drag of needing to get somewhere, needing to overdo, needing to overthink. You just are. You just be. And life unfolds and happens as it does, but it's in a more seemingly less effort manner. I'll give you an example. I've kind of, over the last year, there have been times, a big chunk of this time, where I found myself always doing, and I was always stressed out because I had thought that I had to do so many things, otherwise I would be stressed out. And then there was this realization that I didn't need to do all of these things. It was a matter of I needed to become more present. And the more present I could become, and I gave myself grace for taking time out to rest, taking, space to just be and be in the moment of where I was, enjoying my present moment. I wasn't too much in my head, and I wasn't in the future, and wasn't in I need to do. And the things that I needed to get done got done. But it was from this space of surrendering and releasing the need for it to be and look a certain way. And I actually found that I was less stressed out when I came from this space of releasing the expectations I held over myself and releasing this doer. I didn't need to do because I held the belief of doing. That was created in my reality. But once I held this belief of just being and wanting to just be, I allowed myself to be, and there wasn't as much to do. So wild. And it's two different experiences. Definitely two different experiences. But they both taught me something. And I realized I wanted to have this experience of being. I wanted to just be able to be and not be in doer mode and feel stressed out, because that's ultimately what it did. And I realized it was my own creation. So understand that we always have a choice. We always have that choice that, we consciously make. And everything really comes down to your acceptance of whatever it is that you cannot control, and changing whatever it is you do have control over. And it's always both of acceptance and, the change and making changes and letting go. Because we tend to get stuck in what has to be, if certain things in our life have to be a certain way. And if the more we let go and the more we can flow and adapt to life, adapt to changes, we're going to find that life is going to be a lot easier, a lot seemingly less stressful. And when we set our intentions of what we are wanting and what we're wanting to experience, we can see that life can unfold that way for us. But we also have to take a step back, and we have to let go of this need for control over every little thing in our life, and understand that life can happen for us in ways that we may least expect it. But sometimes we're going to have to release this control, this need for control over our life and every little aspect of how we experience our reality. And I've also noticed something that I learned recently. I had gotten really upset like a week or so ago about, something that came up. And when I realized that I got so upset, in the moment I wasn't aware of what was occurring. It was more of a reaction. But when I allowed myself to sit with that experience of why I got so upset, I allowed myself to sit with it. And I had this realization. It was just fear. It was this fear energy that was coming up to be released. That's all it was. The reaction was the fear. It was fear. And I just had to be aware that it was fear, and that I'm just releasing it. And, either I'm going to choose to engage with fear and allow it to, create this not good reaction, or I can release it and just be aware that that's what it is, and consciously choose to just let go and not have a reaction to what is occurring, because there's always a choice, remember? So this awareness came from me sitting with what I got upset about. And it was funny because I don't know if I've ever really experienced something like that. And I was amazed at the awareness, this greater awareness that I had of, a solution to something so small that grabbed my attention, and I noticed I had this reaction. And allowing yourself to sit with things like this, things that you might think are problems, allow yourself to just kind of sit with it. The solution, the answer comes to you, and it gives you greater clarity and awareness, and you can then use that to your advantage, because you realize that, okay, this was a lesson. I'm not going to allow this to happen again. I'm going to be consciously aware of what's occurring. If this were to occur again, remember, you have the choice. So remember that you get to choose. You always get to choose how you're going to respond, if you're going to react, in a good way or a not so great way, and understanding what is actually coming up for you. So I don't know, I found that really powerful. Like, that was something, a major shift that kind of happened for me, that seemingly was so small. And I'm wondering how this took me so many years to realize this. And I laughed, because I thought to myself, life really is simple. I feel like it really is. And I feel that we overcomplicate life, and we take it so seriously, and we don't allow ourselves to just open up and have more fun with life, and to experiment with life, and just dance with life. We always think that it has to be structured and it has to have so much order. But what if we just allowed ourselves to kind of just doodle outside of the lines? Why don't we just allow ourselves to play a little bit more, be more creative, have more fun, and understand that the little things are going to teach us so much. And sometimes we just got to take a step back. Sometimes we just got to take a few minutes to ourselves and be in solitude and actually gain clarity and hear those answers and those solutions and what's actually going on. Because I do believe the answers will come to you if you allow yourself to sit in silence. So whatever problems you feel like you have, or issues that are ongoing, understand, if you allow yourself to have space and silence, that the answers can come to you. but you need to give yourself that space and that quiet time. And that means disconnecting from your phones, disconnecting from technology, you know, having true quietness and, you know, silence for reflection. I thought I'd share that with you guys. That's kind of what has been coming through for me today, and I felt like inspired to share that. So I hope that helps you, helps somebody out there. If you found that this content was helpful for you and it resonated, please like, share, subscribe. Hope you'll become a part of this amazing, wonderful tribe. We do talk about all things healing, lifting our vibration, and rising to become our best self. So yeah, I'm so excited, honored to be on your journey and you a part of mine. Thank you so very much. And until next time, friends, take very good care. Love you all and I really enjoyed chatting with you. Love you guys. Bye.